Hi guys, I wanted to share with you this news on OpenAI. We have the OpenAI o3-mini just announced today. I just saw it and I wanted to share live my tests with this new model. You can read more on this release page about the o3-mini, but I wanted to show you first these graphs that you can see here. In math competition, you can see the previous models, and you can see that here we have o3-mini low. For example, if you want to use it right now, even for the free version, you can use the o3-mini low if you want a fast response. Otherwise, you can get the o3-mini, or if you want a high reasoning, then you can use the o3-mini-high. You can see here, tester preferred o3-mini's responses to o1-mini 56% of the time and observed a 39 reduction in major errors or on difficult real-world questions. So here you can see also a PhD level science questions, and you can see here that o3-mini-high scored an accuracy of 79.7. So it's a big leap in this competition. You can see here frontier math also very high. Competition code forces, you can see the ELO, like for chess players, 2130, okay? Compared to o1-mini, you see 1650. This is a great achievement, and this graph is the one that interests us for developing, and we have software engineering, and we have 49.3, okay, on o3-mini-high compared to 41 to o1 preview or 48 for o1. And you can see here the reasoning level for every version. For mini low, we have 0.61 for external, and you see all these graphs and tables. Okay, let's give it a try. I have the pro version, and I'm gonna show you an example of what I did. I just gave him this prompt. As you can see here, I have a project created that is called Laravel Learning, and the project would be Laravel Filament Admin Panel. So here I'm using this prompt to create a prompt for me, okay, to create a prompt to give it to o3-mini-high. So my prompt or my request was this one: create a prompt for your ChatGPT to create a Laravel project with FilamentPHP, explaining that we have to create an admin panel to manage course creation. Suggest the functional and technical analysis to manage multi-user. Users can be both students and teachers. Courses are organized by categories. Courses have sections and sections have lessons. Lessons can be articles or video tutorials. It should be something similar to Udemy or Teachable or Thinkific. As you can see, thought about Laravel project with FilamentPHP for 6 seconds. This was the reasoning, so crafting the prompt. So I'm putting together a prompt for ChatGPT to create a Laravel project. Developing request. The request involves creating a meta prompt for ChatGPT to generate a Laravel project. Okay, crafting the detailed instruction. If you just copy and paste this piece of prompt, you're gonna see step by step the crafting prompt, developing the request, crafting the detailed instruction, building a robust admin panel, and this is the output. So the prompt that it created for me, you can see here. I want you to act as an expert in Laravel with knowledge of surpassing even Laravel's creator. That was the prompt that I used here for this project. And you can see here, functional analysis, user management, support for multi-user, authentication, users can register as students or teachers, admin role to oversee the platform. Then we have the course management. Courses are organized by categories. Each course is divided into sections. Sections are composed of lessons, so on and so forth. Here you have the technical analysis. Use Laravel latest stable version as the main framework. Implement FilamentPHP for the admin panel to manage courses. Use a modular architecture following solid principles. Database and models. So you can see here that it already gave the instructions for the models. So we have role, student, teacher, admin, authentication, profile, information, category, model, name, description, and relationship with courses. You're going to have access to this information. And what we're going to do now is we're going to open another prompt and we're going to paste this prompt to o3-mini-high. Okay, I use this one to create a prompt for me. We can imagine that this prompt is, or this helper is for the architectural and functional and technical analysis. Now I'm gonna open a new one. You can just paste the prompts here, okay, and send the prompt. So there was an error generating the response. Maybe it's too long. It should create everything that I asked. So let's take a look at the output. So it's creating the Laravel project, and this is the project overview. You can see the proposed folder structure, console, exception, filament, resources, core resources, category resource. So this is what it's proposing. The controllers, the models. Then you can see here it generates the code for the migration that we can just copy and paste. You can see here that it created the course resource, everything, the role-based access control with the middleware. It created the course service. It created even the repository pattern. We have also the testing and the guideline. Okay, I'm gonna give it some more instruction. Please generate or generating the project, install filament, and creating the So you can see crafting the filament resources, piecing together commands, confirming the process. You can see the thinking here, 6 seconds for the whole thinking. And here you can see the commands. I'm gonna copy and paste and do this, and let's see if it works. I'm gonna open iTerm. Okay, here I have the Laravel folder where I gather all of my Laravel. All right, here we are in Laravel folder in my system, and we're gonna execute command by command from what ChatGPT generated for us. So let's go back here, and the first one is for creating the Laravel project. Now we're installing all of the packages, and you can see that Laravel by default uses SQLite. Okay, if we don't use the Laravel command to create the project, that's okay. We can switch to MySQL once we have finished the project. So let's go back to the other commands. Next one, we have to go inside the folder, and then we have to require filament. So we go inside the project and we install the package. So according to FilamentPHP, the current version is 3.2. So we're gonna open the project and see if that's the version that is gonna be installed. We can see it from here. Okay, version 3.2, that's okay. After that, we have to execute filament install. Okay, this is the install command. It doesn't specify what we wanna install. If we add --help, let's see if we have to add something. And you can see that we have the options scaffold, action, forms, panels, tables. ChatGPT didn't give us any options, so let's try to create the first resource. So you can see here that we have an error, and that's because we didn't specify, or ChatGPT didn't give us the option to specify what we wanted to build. In this case, we should have explained that we wanted to build an admin panel. So we have to run the filament install --panels. So we should have specified that we wanted to have this admin panel. I think we specified it, but it didn't add the option --panel. So we're gonna do it. The ID of the admin panel, because we can have more than one, I'm gonna leave admin by default. Okay, and let's see now if it works creating the resources. Let's create the course resource, and it was created. Then we have category, then we have section, and then we have lesson. All right, we have the panels and we have the resources. If we take a look here inside app, we have filament, and inside we have the resources. So we can see category resources, and inside we see pages, and we have create category, edit category, list categories, and then we have category resource, and you can see that the model should be category class. We don't have the model because ChatGPT generated the code for the models, but not the script for creating the model. So let's give those instructions. Okay, let's say you didn't create the script for the models. Okay, so we have here the script for the model. We have category with the model, the factory, and the seed, and the same for the rest of the models. So let's go back to PHP Storm, and then we can just copy and paste those commands. All right, let's take a look at the database folder, and we have the factories, and you can see that we have a factory for each and every one of them that of course we have to define. And then if we take a look at the migrations, we have a migration for every table, and then we can copy and paste the code that it generated before for that. So I'm gonna go back and copy all the code that it was generated, and then I'll be right back as soon as I finish. So the first one is the migration for the user table, and you can see that we have the ID, name, email verified at, and then it created the role as an enum. It could be okay for the time being. We can ask to create, for example, a separate table for the roles so that it's easier for us to create a new role. Then you can see that courses has as foreign category ID. Okay, in this case, we should create category first. So as you can see here, it says that similarly create the migration for categories, sections, and lessons. So we only have here the course, section, and lesson. So let's say you didn't create the category model. Add the category migration. Okay, let's create the category migration. Let's do it ourselves here with PHP artisan make migration, and let's call it categories. And then let's copy the code. Okay, I finished copying the code, and you can see here that we have the migration. If you go to databases, migrations, we have the users table. So it was created as you saw before with the enum role. I'm going to ask it to create a table for the role so that we can also manage the roles in the admin panel. Then we have the categories table with just ID, name, and description. We have the courses table with the foreign column category ID. I don't see here the foreign. Let's see. Oh yeah, you can see here foreign category ID, reference ID on table categories. Then we have lessons with ID timestamps. So we don't have enough data here. We should have all of the lessons columns. So it wasn't, let me see, just check if it was created or was just that we missed that part. So we have the users, we have the course, and okay, you can see that it asks us to create also the migrations for categories, sections, and lessons. So let's see. I asked it to create the categories, so I'm gonna ask now to create the sections and lessons migrations. So what I'm gonna do now is that let's go step by step. I'll give you an instruction. I'll say go for the next output. Let's create the lessons. Let's create the rest of the migrations. All right, here we have the one for section. Let's just copy it. Now I'm gonna say go. Let's see what's gonna do. Okay, all right, it worked. Now it's created the lessons table. Go again. Now it realized that the courses table wasn't created, and so it generated the snippet. All right, let's see. We have the course table. It was created anyway before, but I'm gonna just copy it again. And let's run the migration. PHP. Now let's first take a look at the, and we have courses with ID, category, title, description, foreign category ID. We have the lessons with section, title, type, and We can decide also to create a section tables if we want to, so that we can create also what kind of sections we want. But of course, we decided just to use articles and videos. Then we have the courses with category. We have lessons with foreign key section ID. All right. But in users, we don't have any foreign ID, and it's okay. And let's verify the models now. So in app models, we have users, and we have the hidden unfillables. Then we have category, and we have that a category has many courses, and we should also say that categories belong to users. Okay, so we have courses, and courses has many sections, and courses belongs to category, and that's okay. Lessons belongs to section, and that's okay. And sections has many lessons, belongs to course. All right, so let's just run PHP artisan migrate, and we're facing the first problem. And you can see that the code that it generated, it has some errors. Maybe it's using an old FilamentPHP version. Let's ask it. So, what's your latest FilamentPHP version? So it's using 2.17. Okay, let's see if it can go to 3.2. So you can see I'm verifying that the current stable version of FilamentPHP is 2.17 with outgoing development towards a version 3.x. I'm gonna say current version is 3.2. Please update. Okay, I already have the latest version. Please generate resources with the latest version. Okay, let's see if it can generate the code with the latest version. We can click here on the arrow to see what is it doing. And so we already have the resource created. We have to get the code. So let's copy the first one, that is course resource, and let's see if we don't get any errors anymore. So let's go to Filament, and let's open course resource, and you can see here that the problem is that the declaration is not compatible with the parent. It should be filament forms form, and here we have filament resources form. So let's update the code, and okay, it doesn't work. Let's fix it ourselves, and let's append form, and here change. Okay, and PHP Storm can do it for us. Let's do the same thing for table, append table from filament table, and the same here. And okay, let's do the same thing for the rest of the resources. So we have categories, and okay, we don't have anything for categories. We have the course. We don't have anything for lessons and sections. So let's give the instruction to get the code for those ones. So we have the code resource. Okay, we have the category here. Let's update the category resource. And let's update also here the type for forms table here, filament forms. Let's get the section one and lesson. All right, let's run the migration again. And it went okay. So now I'm gonna ask it, what should we do to see the admin panel? Okay, how can we test via web that filament works? So first we have to run PHP artisan serve. Okay, then we have to open this address. Okay, and you can see Laravel up and running, and we have to visit /admin. So we don't have any user because we haven't created any factory for the user. We can see if with the current factory we can get inside. For example, for user factory, you can create a fake user. Let me see if there is the option for Filament. Okay, you can see here that we can go inside with a Laravel Tinker and create a user with a fake password. And let's see if Filament has a command for creating a user. Does Filament have a command to create a user? Okay, you can see here that it does have it. PHP artisan make Filament user. So let's use it. Let's open another terminal. Let's give it a name. I'm going to call it admin. Email address, I'm going to use mine. And then my password. All right. Then we can go to admin login. And let's see if we can log in with it3. Okay, remember me. If we double click on database.sqlite in PHP Storm, we can have access to this database. You can see here, we can give it a name. We can call it Filament, and then we can apply. Okay. And if we open here the database, we should see what we have inside. So we have tables, and let's take a look at user. Right click and edit data. And we can see that we have the user created, and let's commit. So I managed to log in, but you can see that this SVG O collection from Heroicons not found in some pages. So let's give this message here just to see if we get any feedback from o3-mini. So let's go to Heroicons and let's find another icon for O collection. And we have it here in section resources. Let's find another icon for that. So shield dash exclamation. Okay, you can see that now that we have our admin dashboard, we have categories, and let's try to create a new category here from our panel. New, you can see that the form was already created for us. Let's add the name and let's call it Laravel courses. Let's create another one, and PHP, save changes, and let's go back to categories, and you can see the list here. So we don't have any icon here to modify, but you can see that we can just click here and go and edit the category. We can search. Let's search for PHP, and you can see that it can filter. Let's go to section of courses, and let's create a new course, and let's give it a name. Creating an admin with FilamentPHP. So you can see here that it already created the dependency here because a course belongs to a category, and you can see here that we have the list box for the category, and let's choose Laravel. Then we can define if we want to have many-to-many relationships between courses and category. And let's create the course, and the course description, creating a Filament PHP admin panel. All right, we have the course. Let's go to the course list, and we have it here. Let's go to sections, and you can see that we can click on new section. We can select the course from here, and the section title, we're gonna call it intro. Create another one, and let's call it installing Filament PHP, and let's give it a high order here because it's gonna be ordered by this ordering. All right, then if we go back to sections, you can see here that we have the section, we have the order by, and all of these features can be set in the resource. Okay, so we can go on giving instruction to ChatGPT in order to modify our interface, change the theme, etc. So we have sections. Now let's add some lessons. So let's create a new lesson. We choose a section. lesson title, installing Laravel. Then we can just add the content here, or just add, for example, an iframe with the video, embedding the video, and then we can show if we have an iframe, then we can embed the video. Of course, we can have a relationship between a lesson and its content type, and then according to the content type, we can render the lesson in a different format. So let's just click create. We have to select a lesson type, and this is gonna be an article, okay? And all right, we have our dashboard. We have the categories, we have the courses, lessons, titles. We can add another one for users. Let's give it a try here. Let's create a resource for managing users. Modify the user model so as to define its relationships. So it's creating the resource for managing user, adjusting the user model to define the relationships. Teachers have courses, students enroll in many courses, and the admins might have special roles. Clarifying relationships. You can see I'm refining the user model by establishing roles, integrating teacher ID, and rethinking the user model to link teachers with courses, adding a teacher ID field in courses migration. This ensures that the correct relationship setup between users and courses. Updating the course setup and thinking about integrating a teacher ID field in the courses migration. Okay, so we have the relationship with here courses. So a user can have many courses through the teacher ID. This is okay if we want to have only one teacher per course. If we want to have more than one teacher per course, then we should add a relationship, okay? And then enroll courses. A user belongs to a course with course user. And then you can see here the filament resource. Let's create just the resource. I'm gonna make a suggestion. Let's create a relation table or a pivot table as a course can belong to more than one user. A category belongs to a user. A course can have many categories. Let's also manage roles in a separate. So let's take a look at the reasoning. So blending courses, categories, and users in my schema. Now I'm organizing roles with a custom roles table for precise multi-user account management, charting course users dynamics. So digging into the idea that a course can involve multiple users, each in distinct roles. So this is the reasoning it's doing. This suggests a many-to-many setup for the course user, pivot table facilitating rich user-course interactions, mapping the structure and gathering info on a many-to-many relationship between courses and categories, which will use the category courses, okay? A pivot table. So it's taking a closer look now at its reasoning. Okay, let me see. I'm planning a role table and possible role user pivot table. Then deciding on role storage. I'm leaning towards a role table with a role user pivot table for handling multiple roles per user. This approach ensures scalability and aligns with a thorough enterprise design. So mapping out the migrations. So I'm crafting migrations. So you can see the step-by-step reasoning is doing for us. So after this reasoning, you can see here that we have to create a migration for the table course user, for the table category course, for the table roles, and for the pivot table role user. So let's give it a try. And then you can see the tables here. So we can just copy and paste the new tables. Now you can see that the models were updated. Now you can see that a category belongs to a user and then that the category can have many courses. It can belong also to many courses. So we have course, and then a course can have many users. So you can see here that a course belongs to many users. It belongs also to many categories, and it has also many sections. So you can see here the role model with the name and description, and then a user belongs to many roles. All right, guys, I'm gonna give it a try. I'm gonna copy this code and see you on our next tutorial to finish this project by using ChatGPT with o3-mini. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe and give it a thumbs up, and see you in our next